Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to the number one manga podcast on YouTube and on Spotify and soon to be Apple Podcast. Welcome everybody to the Manga Alert podcast.
We're not promising that.
Well, who said I was promising? I made it as a statement. There was no promise.
I've tried like 5 times and they keep denying us.
Well, it must be the censorship, probably because we don't put enough Weezer albums featured into our episodes here on Manga Alert.
But we already have so many though.
You know what, Gear? Theme song.
And I hope you are still alive, though it ain't 1955. I would be right there by your side if I was born in 39. Maybe we could build a boat.
And welcome back, everybody. Glad that you can all join us for the end of the year. 2020 was quite an enjoying experience, needless to say. One of the best years that we've had in a long time.
Oh yeah,
one of the top 10 years. Just
definitely
ever.
is going to go down
honestly
as one of the top 10 best years of all time in my life.
Oh yeah.
In all seriousness, folks, we're glad that you're all able to join us for the season finale of Manga Alert Season 4. Hard to believe that we've been going strong at this for over 4 years now. And continuing the legacy and the honor, we decided to combine both the Christmas cast as well as the New Year's cast all into one as part of a season finale extravaganza. We wanted to go all out this year. We wanted to get some high-quality live streaming equipment, but instead we decided to make it simple and clean as the way it's supposed to be. And that is just us four today. Joining us, longtime friend, longtime guest host, T-Dog, joining yet again for the Manga Alert podcast. Welcome, brother. It's good to have you on the show. What's been going on in your life? How's 2020 been?
Yo, what's up? It's T-Dog Reviews. Big thanks for having me on Manga Alert. I think it's been literally like 2 years since I've last been on here. But I mean, what can I say? It's the best manga podcast on YouTube.
Well, you weren't our first choice.
But I
that's
mean,
what I'll say.
I've been reading some manga, making some videos. You know the drill.
Oh yeah.
Boom, boom.
You know, there was one podcast this year that overtook us in episode count, but it ended up getting nuked. So you see that's what happens when you try to mess with us.
Well, that's a darn shame.
What was that episode that got nuked?
No, I'm saying the podcast that passed us in episode count got nuked. Like, the whole show.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The Otaku
I don't know. The name just blanks my mind right now.
Holocast? Is that what it is?
Apollo also got nuked, but that was his own doing.
He just nuked himself.
Right, well,
just right there.
That's, he shot himself in the knee and he didn't get up. So,
if you actually look up Apollo Gray, the first thing now is a T-Dog video.
Wait.
Oh yeah, that was the get to know us
Apollo,
tag, right?
it's literally just like, if you look up his name, it's just a wall of tag videos of everyone responding to his tags, but he himself is gone now.
well, Apollo, he spent so much time investing into D&D campaigns that he just cannot make manga content anymore, which leads me to believe that he's going to be back, and he's going to be back with a vengeance, but he's not going to be doing manga content. He's definitely going to be doing something worse.
Anime content?
I mean, that's pretty bad, but I mean, even worse than that. I would say it's going to be the D&D side of things. He's going to get his 8 die out, and he's going to play some elves and wizards and warrior bullshit, whatever the fuck that shit is. Whatever old people play. I guess D&D is sort of the thing to do. So
He he got mad at me when I said the reason D&D is popular now is because of Stranger Things. I don't think he liked me saying that.
I mean, it might
D&D. Well, D&D has always been popular. I think.
But I mean, like, why it got like a recent boom? We'll see.
Agree to disagree. Stranger Things is a shitty fucking show, so I don't think it has anything to do with that.
You don't want to see them take down the Soviet Union?
No, I don't want. to.
It's all part of the campaign, man.
Who's missing half his neck with fucking buck teeth, going.
They aren't kids anymore now. They're all like 19.
They're all like
that's even
prepubescent,
worse.
like their hormones. They like were really
Shrug. You're 19.
No,
Calm
I'm
down.
20. Fool.
No, I'm an adult.
Stop
Dad.
lying.
I'm cutting
Yeah,
my bangs.
shut up, man. I pay rent and taxes.
Whoa, shut
Yeah.
up. That's inappropriate. Go back to your room.
Here I just went to Apollo on his new channel. It's Sly Warlock. He has he did a tier list for all the D&D classes, and we have a comment from J-Dog here, who is literally Finn Wolfhard from season 1 of Stranger Things. So I think
I think
that's all
that
I need
speaks
to
for
know there.
itself. But in terms of the future of Apollo's channel, I mean, whether he goes for like, I don't know, like D&D, manga, anime, whatever it may be, I mean, I think it's safe to say that the best of Apollo is yet to come.
And with that being said, Gear, I think right now go ahead and edit in a bit that we did for Taz. Go ahead and do R.I.P. Apollo Gray forever manga tuber, and go ahead and hashtag forevermore.
Are we going to talk about the other big anime manga tuber who quit recently? Very sad.
I mean, who cares?
You know, our boy Misty.
Oh no.
Oh, Misty / Chronexia.
Oh, do people still watch that person?
I tried to talk about it last time, but Base cut me off.
Well,
But
Base
it's
cuts
very
us
sad.
off.
Base knows that you're, so he told you not to do
Oh,
it.
Shaman. I'm going to have to censor that now. That's...
No.
We're a politically correct show.
We're not allowed on
No.
Spotify now because of that.
Yeah,
We're
they're
not
gonna kick us
having
off.
any of your Canadian fucking bullshit. This is fucking America right here, okay? You got 3 Americans and a fucking Canadian that are on our podcast, okay? So you know what, Gear? Shut the fuck up and end the fucking bit.
What? Okay, question. So, like, does Misty Chronexia or Misty / Chronexia, however you put it, maybe it's like Hunter x Hunter type deal. I don't know. So, does he just have like a speech impediment, or like is that like his accent?
He's French Canadian.
Yeah, he's...
Oh.
That's literally all it is. He's French.
I can't recreate like his accent.
English is his second language.
Like when it comes, because like I've been to French Canada. I know a lot of French Canadians, and it's really weird because like a lot of them do talk like that, and then a lot of them like translating like our Prime Minister Trudeau, like he can speak English pretty well. He's French Canadian, right? So it's like it really depends on the French Canadian, and Misty, he's just super French Canadian. So
I'm kind of sad that he's gone, but at the same time, good riddance. Like, who cared about the 8 seals? Got it just.
That's an oxymoron right there, Shrug. I'm kind of sad he's gone, but thank God. What is that?
I mean, like, it's sad to see like somebody give up. Like,
my
in
grandma just died, but thank God.
It's like kind of one of those things of where, you know, he's part of the community. It's like it's sad that he's gone because like he was a guy that was like when I first started making videos, like that's
he
how
was
long.
huge.
Yeah, and so seeing him leave is
Huge.
gone. But like also, just I don't know what he's done in the past like 2 or 3 years. Like other than the 8 seals, because I remember like everyone trashing on the 8 seals.
He attempted to make an anime that he basically stole all of his Patreon fund for, so I have no real respect for the guy. I mean, the anime community is sort of it's a mess. It's a larger community compared to the manga community, which is why for us for so long the nicheness of our community was so great. And now there's like a manga tuber on every block. They're starting young now too. They're like 13, 14 now. They're talking about their latest Boruto pickup that they got.
You literally,
and
you were Sonic's cool when you were like 10. You did the same thing.
I was like 8 or 9, but that's not even the same thing. I mean, Sonic and manga, really? Are you trying to downplay that much?
What's wrong with Sonic?
God, this is why Gear is the most illogical manga tuber in the community, but I think that's why so many people associate himself with, because they can relate
the
to
Sonic manga.
Relate to him on a
We don't talk
level.
about that. We don't talk about that manga.
Sonic manga.
We don't know.
There's a Sonic manga? Oh God.
Yeah, it came out. Let's see, from 1992 to 1994.
That can't be real. Is it not like a comic book or something?
I'm on the Sonic the Hedgehog fandom wiki. So
There's a manga,
obviously.
and then there's like the Archie Sonic comics, which they were both running at the same time.
It's pretty bad.
They should make a new one.
I mean, like on the earlier topic of Apollo, it's like Apollo could be worse. He could come back and do like weekly Boruto reviews of the anime episodes, like Double Four. So it's like, it's like as long as he doesn't come down to that, then it's fine.
Double Four isn't around. Well, he's around, but he doesn't. I don't really know why he doesn't anymore.
He's too busy getting into taxi cabs with For Never World and going to hotels and screaming things into his wife's ear.
While I'm not a huge fan of For Never World, I will respect that he actually like the problem with Misty and Double Four and all these channels that died off is that they never changed up their content, so they were like the algorithm eventually just killed them. But at least for Neverworld now, he shifted his content, so he does like, instead of like a single Boruto like topic for a video, he'll talk about like Boruto and like Bleach and Black Clover in the same video. So I gotta respect him a little.
Besides making singular videos and uploading like 5 of them on a daily.
Although it's really weird. He like every time a Boruto chapter comes out, he makes a big video of the title. It's like the death of Naruto, and
I've seen like 50 of those videos before.
Clickbait.
He keeps teasing the death of Naruto, but like, what up?
It's clickbait. It gets the views.
Some of these, like some of the titles that I've looked up on my phone here. The secret behind major drama with Sasuke's eye. The truth about Eren in the final season of Attack on Titan. Major moment we've been waiting for is coming. Heading. Then it cuts off. The brutal end for Jujutsu Kaisen. For now, it's like he can't decide whether he wants to go capital or lowercase.
Oh my god, he called it. He called it the brutal end of Jujutsu Kaisen for now because it's going on a 1-week break. The anime. He
caters. You gotta remember this, Gary. He caters to a very young audience.
Well, it's because it's all the popular shonen stuff, so it does make sense.
People who respond to him and who like look up to For Never World are very young individuals. They have not articulated or able to form a complex IQ. So for them,
all right,
it's enjoyable content.
I think one of my favorite manga tubers just in general probably would have been Code Provider, but I mean he's obviously not making like manga videos anymore. I think he's making like vlogs, which I mean those are still pretty good. I'd recommend checking him out, but like his old Naruto reviews were definitely like the classics.
If you copy me, let him know you got him for me.
Gosh, no, it's kind of hard to watch. Like, it's kind of hard to just like see Code Provider's channel just like gone down the drain because he uploaded 2 weeks ago, and it only has 786 views.
He's an adult now, guys. I mean, he's not in high school. He's not in college anymore. He lives a life in Japan. He's a teacher. He literally teaches at a university.
Oh, really?
He's a college professor, dude. He teaches English.
That's nuts.
So he basically has a life that he lives now, and he's enjoying his time right now. I talk to him on Twitter all the time. We're good buddies. It's kind of interesting how he was sort of someone who I looked up to when I first started collecting manga, and now it's just like we're chill friends, hanging out, talking on Twitter. I'm gonna actually be on a podcast with him in a couple weeks, so that'll be something to look forward to.
Is it going to be the We Are Nakama revival?
Well, it's gonna be something more chill. We're gonna be talking a little bit more about serious manga and cigars and retro gaming, and it's gonna be a nice departure from the funny satire that we do here on the Manga Alert podcast. Don't get me wrong, love this podcast, but you kind of need your serious discussions every now and then, and that's what I look forward to.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Serious discussions about what again?
Retro gaming, cigars, and all the good wonders that is Gekiga.
So I did have a list of all the big events from 2020. If we want to go down memory lane and reflect on this amazing year.
I would rather we throw 2020 down the toilet where it belongs.
Oh, come on, we got some good stuff.
Well, that's the end of the podcast right now.
You literally stayed at home, Gear. You didn't do anything in 2020. That's what that was your moments.
Okay. Anyway.
Here. I'll take you all down memory lane. Okay. January was the best month of 2020. Nothing happened. Everything was normal, and then everything changed in February when the Fire Nation attacked.
I
think it was March.
I like the first 2 months of 2020. Well, maybe the first 3, and then
I would say
that,
it was the middle of March when it went downhill.
February was sort of that month crunch period of where it was during the middle of the month. I'll never forget this. I had my vice president that I worked with at one of my properties, and he basically pulled me into the office. He's like, "Yeah, so have you heard what's going on in China right now?" And I was like, "Yeah, I saw on the news." They're like, "Yeah, we're probably going to be closed for 2 weeks." He ate his words, didn't he? We were closed for months on end. I ended up working mostly through quarantine, but with the first month, I was let go. I was out from work. We stayed at home for a little bit, and then afterwards, it sort of started to get to some normalcy. Went back at around April, May. That was when I went back to work and started working again and just jumping all around and doing a bunch of stuff. But this whole year has just been a mess. I mean, depending on what state you're from, everyone's locked down and quarantined, and especially to Gear being in Canada, he lives in the middle of nowhere anyway, so it's like for you guys were at a stay-at-home order the whole entire time anyway. So
pretty much, we still kind of are.
On top of not being able to do really anything beforehand, you really couldn't do much with what was going on from where you were. But it just really all depends where you were in the world and what was going on. Our governor is a clown, and he's an idiot. He wanted to reopen the bars for a month, and then a week after the spikes started happening again, he closed down all the bars for 3 months, and then said, all right, let's reopen them again, and then he threatened to close them down yet again. So people, on top of losing their jobs and getting them back again, and then losing their jobs again, it was just a mess. Overall, this is gonna hurt the economy quite badly, and it'll be a rough few years. I think we'll start seeing a turnaround probably at maybe the tail end of 2021. Of course, all depending on how the vaccine gets dished out and handled and accordingly. So we'll see. And then, of course, you got the GOP and everyone fighting for $2,000 by Mitch McConnell, who keeps blocking shit in the Senate. Fucking asshole.
Speaking of Mitch McConnell, Death Note came back this year. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, weird manga you were talking about there, Shaman.
Yeah, what is this? This isn't your podcast of Code Provider.
You know what? We need to, in fact, edit in a bit. Call this the serious old man talk with old man Shaman. Okay?
You gotta have the fire in the background, the little fire.
Listen here, children. I'll tell you a story about 2020, the worst year ever. Let me grab my pipe.
So who remembers the Death Note one shot? How great was that?
Gosh,
yeah, I remember that. I read it the day it came out.
I didn't.
Oh, so did
I wasn't interested.
Can we talk about how influential Donald Trump is in being featured in multiple manga series?
I was honestly going to kind of talk about
Seriously, he is featured in multiple manga series. He's in Kengan Ashura, Base's favorite manga of all time. Plus,
no, he's
the Death
not.
Note
No,
one-shot.
he's not. You're lying.
Yes, he is. I am not lying.
He's also in Dr. Stone. He gets turned to stone in the first chapter.
I was gonna say, for the Death Note one shot, I think like one of my favorite parts of that was just kind of seeing like their takes on like showing different like leaders of different countries in the manga. Like they had Chi in there, they had
Yeah.
Abe, Trump, the whole gang.
King's all here, folks.
Yeah.
See,
I
where is
remember-
Justin Trudeau's manga? I'm still waiting on that one.
So the video I made about it was my most hated video of the year, and I think it's because like I made a video. It was basically just a shitpost video where I was just making fun of it like while I was reading it, and a lot of people ended up apparently really liking the one shot. So a lot of them were getting really mad at me, and I'm like, oh sorry, I thought this was stupid, but people actually really like it. So I
Well,
guess
it was its own
cool,
thing. I
suppose.
mean, consider it whatever it is, but I thought it was needless. I mean, was really anyone crying for more Death Note content?
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of weird, I think, but you know.
It was fanfare. That's all it was. You know, it was a fun little like experiment for all the fans of Death Note who still, for whatever reason, like that series. My own personal opinion on Death Note is just that it's kind of a mess. We did our own podcast on Death Note, and I think most of us were praising it, but that was like over three and a half years ago.
Remember, yeah, that's iconic. That was when Taz like tried to justify what Light did.
Well, oh my god.
Oh yeah. Oh
I'll
yeah.
never,
I
I'll
remember
never,
that.
I'll never forget that. We were
He's
all like
don't
Gare
you
and
guys
I
think
for
Light
once.
was justified?
Well, hang on, Gare. So we both agreed that Light's a piece of shit, and then Taz was like, "Hang on, guys. So Light Yagami was justified," and I can't remember. This was hilarious. We were all just like, "What?" It was just like we just paused and we're just like, no.
Taz, you have something you want to tell us? Like,
Taz is gonna be the future
Oh, man.
dictator.
yeah.
There's
But yeah,
actually there's another Death Note one shot that came out with the Volume 13 encyclopedia thing about like this kid who got a Death Note eraser where he could like erase the names and he was all like killing his classmates and stuff. And
Christ.
Wait,
that one I
I've
think
never
was
read
better.
this. Hold on.
The
Wait,
Death
you've never
Note
read it?
eraser.
That one was so fucking good.
Does it bring people back to life?
No, you could literally erase the name of the Death Note and they come back to. I think that's literally how it works.
What the heck?
That sounds awful.
But that one
What?
I think was better than the 2021.
That's
Li-
insane.
Life
What-
note.
like,
I guess. I don't know.
the
the
life note.
life note.
Woohoo!
Oh man.
Gosh, that sounds
Anyway.
awful.
It's sad to say, but like, has the Death Note mangaka made anything as influential or as big as Death Note? I mean, seriously, like Platinum End, Ral Grad,
No.
because everyone remembers Ral Omega Grad. That was a good series.
Listen, on the topic of Platinum End, so it's ending in like a week. So I have been rereading it all, and like I have a pretty strong history with this one because like I reviewed like the first chapter when it came out 5 years ago, and then every couple years I would check in on it and see how bad it was getting. Now we're back, and you know, I don't think it's as bad as I like. Because, like, I had this image in my head that it was, like, the worst thing ever. And now that I'm reading it, it's really not that, like, dreadful. It's more just, like, horribly boring. Like, it's the most just, like, bland. The characters have no personality. Like, the story is, like, trying really hard to be as clever as, like, early Death Note. But it's really
but the
just,
art,
like...
but the art is so good.
I mean, yes.
And the Power Rangers.
I think we
Oh,
forgot
God,
to
don't even
mention,
get me started on their
one
suits.
of the manga tubers in the community. I think so. Going back to an earlier statement that we had before we started recording this was how no one's really talking about Platinum End, but I know that there's a select few people in the manga community that still are, especially some big namers. Lotus, I remember, is a huge fan of Platinum End, loves that series, and talks about it all the time. He recently had a collection or a manga haul video that he put out, and he mentions how great Platinum End is, and the art is beautiful, and the volumes look so great. Viz did a great job with the series. And you know what? At the same time, it's Viz's way of making a series look so pretty on the outside, but the best quote that I can leave you all with is, "It's not who I am underneath, but it's what I do that defines me." And Platinum End definitely defines the definition of shit.
I was gonna say mediocrity, but sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing, hold on.
mean, just
Shrug,
like-
you mentioned their Power Ranger suits. I forgot this detail, but the Power Ranger suits are actually like advanced like military armor suits.
Oh,
Basically, like, the
Gosh.
whoa.
Yeah.
Big.
No, but like basically like the girl character, and we all know like
The girl
Oba's like yeah, because Oba's terrible at writing female characters.
That's how you
right?
know
So-
his characters are one-dimensional.
Yeah, anyway, but like
girl
the guy, basically like the guy is using his powers to get like advanced military equipment before it's mass produced, and that's where all the Power Ranger suits comes from. And he gives the girl her armor, and it's literally a cat suit. Oh, I'm echoing hard for someone. What?
It's T
Oh, wait,
Dog.
no, that's me.
He's got
Hold on.
yeah.
T-Dog.
His AirPods disconnected.
Speaking of like different manga tubers that I completely like I've forgotten about. I remember when Lotus was like doing a ton of stuff for like I remember when he was doing a ton of manga stuff, and now I constantly see daily him doing like Dragon Ball Fighters, which like good for him. Like he's getting a good amount of views and like
Because
cool,
he's
but it's, like,
making he's making money on Twitch streams. He's literally all he does is he's a big, I think, influencer in the fighting community. He's friends with people like Afro Senju, who's got millions of subscribers, does Dragon Ball Z, Tekken content.
None of the Smash people, I hope.
Well, the Smash community is just cancer.
Yeah, I can't do Smash anymore because I'm like, I don't want to be associated with that.
You're
dog.
associated with pedophiles, Shrug. I hope.
Yeah,
you
I
understand.
know. Okay, I listen. I understand that.
People,
All right, I'm never
people
gonna
who
get
like
out.
made an
Like-
abyss. Okay.
I was talking to people about Smash the other day, and I was like, remember when like the worst thing you could say to us about Smash fans is that they smell? Remember when
Yeah,
that was the
dude,
worst thing?
I was with my girlfriend and we were looking up stuff about like Smash Brothers players, and I said, so it just comes to show you exactly like how much people like actually like the Smash community when the first two things you see is Smash Bros pedophiles and Smash Bros players stink, like they smell bad, and I was like, it just tells you how much that like people are actually like talked about and how many people actually like the Smash community. And I said, you know what? I don't blame
It's even
them.
better when Nintendo wants to just like not only not market Smash Brothers or support like any sort of fighting game tournaments for it. They've pulled tournament licenses from Evo, and they've pulled them from like big name events. They deal with zero sponsorship. It's like Nintendo just does not want to associate their branding with anything to do with like the community whatsoever. And I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah.
As a business, they have that decision. They
Yeah.
have that
Oh,
decision
yeah.
to make. But I just, it would be different if the community was actually like somewhat humble and actually had good
Not
people in
full
it,
of
and not
pedophiles.
exactly full of
Oh yeah.
weird pedophiles. So
Well, like the big thing for this year obviously was like Nintendo, like, and their like marketing choices. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like when you look at all of the problems that happened with Smash, them shutting in the big house, and in the past few months of Smash Brothers players complaining about this not happening, and the Edicons and whatnot. It's like, they are a business, and at the end of the day, do they really want to associate their brand with supporting the game that had so many of their pro players? Because what was it? It wasn't Nairo. No, it was Nairo. Nairo. Yeah.
Zero.
Nairo. Yeah. Nairo and Zero, like the biggest people who Nintendo themselves had a lot of sponsorship with, and they communicate with them very well and openly, and they had a lot of videos of. They just completely removed them, and I get it. That is incredibly understandable, and so for Smash to not get any form of significance, and by them as a company, just makes total sense, and like we're just gonna have to live with that, just because we've had people that have been awful. That's why I don't want to do any Smash content anymore other than just like live streaming stuff, because I don't have to openly talk about that type of stuff, because it's hard for people to look at that nowadays and just be like, oh yeah, well this happened this year, remember
But
that?
oh my
And it's
God,
just-
Sephiroth
sucks.
is in Smash Brothers. You know what?
When are we
well,
getting
like Sephiroth was a good one.
when are we getting the Chris Hansen assist trophy?
Go ahead and have a seat over there.
I hope soon.
We have a story from earlier in the year that we may have forgotten about, but it was really sad because along with people like Apollo and Misty, we also lost Kiss Manga.
Go ahead and edit in a bit. Rest in pepperoni. Beverly Hills.
Yeah, it was a sad time. A lot of people, they didn't know what to do until they realized that there's like 50 other piracy sites that they could just
I
go
wonder
to.
what Ooch Shelf would have to say about Kiss Manga being disbanded.
Oh, that was like the happiest day of his life.
Oh man, so every once in a while Flip does a otaku podcast stream, and I always pop in every now and then. He invites me to the stream sometimes. I get to meet a bunch of new manga tubers in the community. It's my way of connecting with some of the youngins in the manga tube community, so it's a nice fun time. But one of the things that we sort of agree on, me and Flip, and that is digital media and how it's trash. And the Shonen Jump app is trash. They have absolutely nothing on there that is worthwhile. Not even worth reading, if you ask me. $5 a month to support Shonen Jump manga.
I think it's like $2, but
Yeah, I think it's like 2 or 3.
Who cares? It's too much. $2 or $3 is too much to support such a shitty brand. Fuck Shonen Jump. Where's Gekiga Jump? I want that.
I mean, while I do prefer reading things physically, I have gotten an insane amount of use out of Shonen Jump apps.
Well, yeah, because it saves you money on buying actual physical manga.
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff I read is just like the chapters that aren't even
If
out
you can't
yet,
afford physical manga, then yeah, it's your number one best source to get the latest.
I still buy.
Hang on, let me finish. It is your best source to get the latest up-to-date chapters on for certain series, not all of them, certain series, and also too for people to have an outlet to support manga creators that don't have their works published in English. But you see this new boom of Shonen Jump manga. You have series like Jujutsu Kaisen, you have series like Demon Slayer, Black Clover, series that have a surprisingly huge following here in North America and in the States. And a quarter of not only those sales, and I know this is sort of going on a tangent to the last episode that we had of Manga Alert, but a quarter of those sales are accustomed and in thanks to being released here in English and worldwide in English. I mean...
Wait, a quarter of all of the sales in Japan, or all the sales we get? But no, they're not. The English industry isn't that big.
I would say it's pretty big. I mean, you can't say that Demon Slayer sales, 81 million sales, all of those were from Japan. You can't say that.
Like 90% of them
Oh,
were.
no.
I mean, I would honestly say that it has quite a big following here in the States, and especially considering, I mean, we're not the only ones who get English manga.
90%?
I mean, like, it is big here, but it's all relative. Like My Hero makes up like 50% of all manga sold in English.
That's another.
It's like sold.
It's another example.
Yeah, but like the the number it sold in the States is 5 million. That's all it sold, and it makes up 50% of the industry. So it's way smaller here than in Japan. But
90% though, like that's a big margin.
well, listen,
like
Japan, look, okay, are we gonna move into the new record that Demon Slayer set this episode? I made a joke like
what?
So
Oh yeah, what even was the record that Demon Slayer set?
So the new movie, the Infinity Train Demon Slayer, is now the highest grossing movie in Japanese history, beating out Spirited Away, which held the record for 19 years.
Oof.
And now it goes to Demon Slayer.
Japan's Endgame.
Demon Slayer has to be a government ploy. Like, are they brainwashing people to go and see Demon Slayer?
I also
how in the world is it this big?
We are still in the pandemic. Like, I know it's not as bad in Japan, but I mean it's still
like and going back to that. So the number is 81 million for manga sales. Like, are kids telling their parents, and their parents are taking their grandparents to go and see this movie? Like, that is just insane to me. Like, you're talking about Spirited Away, a Studio Ghibli film where everybody went to go see it. Now everybody is seeing Demon Slayer? Like, what?
I know, and it's weird because like it's not even like Spirited Away was a standalone thing. Like this is a sequel to the anime, so you still have to have like seen the whole show in order to see this movie.
I'm
right?
sure
So
they
it's-
tried to make it so that, because it being a film, they try to do that where you don't have to have any sort of previous knowledge going into it, but it would help, of course, obviously. But it's like, yeah, everyone had to, if you're saying that this is the biggest film release in Japan's history, everyone had to go and see it. Like, this was like a box office hit. This was like literally the Titanic of Japan. Like, what the fuck? That just it blows my
I'm surprised
mind.
Demon Slayer's actually been doing like that well, especially like in Japan, because like I know like One Piece is like insanely popular in Japan. Like you go to Japan, you pretty much see One Piece everywhere, and like it makes sense for One Piece because obviously like One Piece smacks, and it's like 80. It's like literally like probably almost 100 volumes at this point. I mean, it's gonna be with the 1,000 with the chapter.
I gotta
1000.
agree with based on this one. One Piece is such a it's a dying age series, man. Like people cannot hold on to this torch that Oda has been carrying for the last 20 years. I mean,
Yeah.
this is just it needs to end. Like, what is the hype with One Piece? It's like you had your pinnacle, which was Paramount War, and afterwards it just became
No, the pinnacle was definitely Water 7.
that doesn't hold up to the sales though. Paramount War was one of the biggest
Oh, no, man.
biggest arcs in the series
I
history.
don't know, man. You read Thriller Bark? at
Well,
all?
hang on. You have to start with Thriller Bark first, and then you have to read Paramount War.
Yeah, and then you go to Punk Hazard. We can't forget
Paramount War was cool, but what about when Tanjiro cuts off the spider guy's head?
that. Who?
Because he remembers the words of his father. He's like, "Son, use the fire sword."
I thought you were gonna say use
And
the
then he
force.
uses the
Dude,
fire sword.
use the
No
force.
one, no one cares about Japanese supernatural, man.
Well,
no
apparently
one.
you're
I don't
wrong.
care.
Apparently 81
No,
million
well,
people who
yeah.
live in Japan do.
Well, yeah, but you know that there's some guys. I don't know if you know, but like, there's probably somebody among us,
Among
not
us?
like in this podcast, but
Please,
yeah, among
shrug.
us.
Just stop.
You know that.
Just end the fucking bit.
The
Among us.
Demon Slayer, like there's a manga I'm reading now that actually are starting to like reference Demon Slayer. Like I read the new Kaguya chapter a few weeks ago, and like one of the characters was like walking through Tokyo, and she was trying to like avoid all of the Demon Slayer stuff.
I think we found the next Dragon Ball Z, folks. This is literally what's going to replace the whole hype of Dragon Ball Z. They're just going to make Demon Slayer movies and not have to worry about anything because it'll just.
I was actually talking about this, like, if they adapt the rest of the series as movies, it'll be like 8 movies or so. So they could keep going
Totally.
for a while.
And apparently it works because they're making all their money off of it. So pretty impressive if
There
you
we
ask
go.
me.
Can't wait to see how it does next
Well,
year.
folks, as far as 2020 has catered so well to us, how do you think it's catered to the manga community? Do you think this boom, this inflow of new manga tubers is a good thing or is it's a bad thing? What do you guys all think? What's your hot takes on all this?
I definitely think it's like, I mean, I guess I definitely think it's like a good thing. I mean, like, I know like some of these some of these new guys aren't as I guess professional as, of course, like the big names like for Neverworld or Code Provider and all that. But I mean, like, you kind of have to start off somewhere, and I think like getting all these new people into manga and having all these new people make videos, I mean, that's really kind of just like the cycle almost of YouTube, where you kind of get like these new people coming in and out all the time.
Fair point.
Yeah,
Fair point.
I'm just glad we're not getting people from TikTok, right? Like, I mean, good lord.
Any
Is manga
TikTok
TikTok a thing?
manga
Is there like
people.
a manga community on TikTok? Like 10-second haul videos?
Why do I feel like somebody asked me about a TikTok trend the other day relating to one manga? I think it was like but like there's definitely been like a couple of TikTokers, like bigger ones, that have used like the Fire Force theme, right? That was like a big thing not too long ago. But like I don't think there's like a specific just TikTok niche of just, unless they're like super cringy, just just it's really hard to watch.
Well, I mean,
Actually,
that's,
it's,
that's
TikTokers.
most of
There
TikTok.
actually are those people who like cosplay as like My Hero Academia characters.
Oh,
And,
yeah, I've seen some of those
yeesh.
ones. Ugh.
I
Oh,
think
boy.
now
Jeez.
manga has just become such a like cult phenomena here in the States that people just now find it cool as a part of pop culture. So you get all these TikTok people who are catering to all these kids and oh my God, what's that? Oh, My Hero Academia? Oh, sure, I'm going to go check that out. Oh, Demon Slayer cosplay? Sure, what is that? Let's go check that out. I think in a way it's good, but I know that a lot of people eventually, like, this is just going to be a fad. No one's going to care what My Hero Academia is on TikTok. It's just going to be the next thing. So whatever the next manga series is, it's going to just take its place. That'll just be the cycle that we've all been going through. Just like with One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto, it's a cycle. You have all your people who were so big into those series and now are moving on to bigger and better things, hopefully.
Well, I don't know. There's still quite a few people who got those like Sasuke profile pictures. Still.
Well, yeah, but
still going
that's that's my point, is that you're gonna have your people moving on from Naruto going to either the next big thing, or you're gonna have people who are still stuck in the same Shonen Jump mindset that want to read the next big Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, whatever the case might be.
Yeah, I definitely think I think that's kind of like a good example for how like the manga community is on YouTube right now. Because like back in the day, it was like the big three: One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, and then before that it was like Dragon Ball, and now it's like My Hero Academia, and well, it's not even obviously the big three. I kind of hate it when people say that.
Yeah.
But it's like there's all these new popular
the
shonen
big
series.
six. The big six we got.
The super
pretty much.
super six.
Changing every year.
But it's like that with all these like new people coming out of the community, and like
I think to get back onto the topic of whether or not this is good for the community, I do think that for the whole MangaTube community as a whole, I do appreciate that it is getting bigger. I think it's good that there is more of a focus on manga as a whole, and I do think that it'll be good for the future of the industry, especially considering that Viz is planning on reprinting a lot of old titles as well. I'm very excited for the Fist of the North Star print. It's something that should have happened a long, long time ago. And I think when that drops, we're going to start seeing a whole inflow of new old titles being printed. Seven Seas was sort of carrying the torch for a while, had a lot of Go Nagai work that was being printed like Devilman. And now it's like no one's really talking about it, but it had an anime series that came out, plus the manga was getting printed in English. And now you're going to have a series like Fist of the North Star, a series that's, over 30 years old with tons of influence from Mad Max and other post-apocalyptic series. And I think it's going to be a very, very good thing for the industry, especially considering for shonen manga. So I think it's good. I think it's good that we're getting a inflow of new manga tubers in the community.
I mean, especially after this year, what we've had, I know a lot of people who I never thought would get into manga or anime just because of the pandemic. They had nothing to do,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
they got into these series, and then that increased a lot of popularity in and of itself, which is good because a lot of people are going and supporting, just buying like physical releases, or even Shaman, even though you hate it, some people have went and bought the Viz. Like they pay the $2-3 a month just to read all the chapters, and then
You don't even
it's like a few
you don't even need to pay for the chapters, like the new ones.
So yeah,
They're
the
free.
thing with it is that if as long as you download the Shonen Jump app, if it's like, I think they give you like 4 or 5 chapters of leadway, so they give you like the most recent of chapters for free.
You get like the first 3 chapters of the series and then the last 3.
Yeah. So I mean,
like you can try out a new series for
enough
free.
to
and then-
taste the palate, I guess is the right word to say.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not
the
completely
appetizer.
against the idea of digital media. I don't think that we're in an age where physical media is something that you can just toss to the side. In the long run, it gives the company more money than anything else because it takes absolutely no effort to print something digitally. So it works and it doesn't.
Like a few years ago, just like seeing just how popular it is now, it's just really weird. Just like I remember my freshman year, I had a copy of Assassination Classroom, and I got made fun of a lot for liking it. And they took my copy of Assassination Classroom and they drew all over it with Sharpies.
Jesus, how old were you?
Yeah, like and.
That's awful.
I was like 15.
Damn, that'd be traumatizing.
Jeez, holy-
High school?
And then I and then the other day
It's kind of.
I saw on his story a picture of him like, dude, Soul Eater's the stuff, and I was like, what just happened? And it's like it still blows my mind. I'm like, yeah, it's like. I guess it's good that everyone's liking anime now.
You know,
great.
Like, even for Base,
cool.
like he didn't get into manga until he was well out of high school, and finally he just jumped on board with every major series known to man. And oh my God, it's so good. My Hero Academia is a godsend. Thank God for shonen manga and all this other crap. So, you know, for some people it takes a while to jump on the manga bandwagon, but it becomes a cult phenomena. So eventually that boils down to a fad, and once they're 30 or 40 years old, they're going to be like, what the fuck was I reading?
Yeah, I think I've been a fan of manga since I was like 13. And I mean, I think like when like I first got into it, I was like kind of trying to keep it on like the down low almost, just because I was like, I don't want people to be like clowning on that stuff. But I mean, now I feel like I've read like so many different types of manga, and now it's like kind of people are almost kind of catching on to it, that it's like it's just kind of like whatever now.
Yeah, it's weird. Like when I was in high school, I like had a manga book with me all the time, but no one really cared. But it was just weird. I remember I've gotten like so many weird reactions. Like I was reading One Piece, and a guy came up to me. He was like, "Whoa, dude, is that an Archie comic?" I'm like, "What?" And I was reading Naruto once, and
that's a really Canadian thing to say. Hey, bud, is that an Archie comic?
Then the teacher came up to me once. He was like, "Hey, man, have you read Berserk?" I'm like,
One time, one of my teachers, this was actually like literally last year, one of my teachers was like asking me about like My Hero Academia information, because she was like buying like a hoodie for her daughter.
Oh my God, I have a few maybe a month ago, my mom was like looking for stuff to get me for Christmas, and she sent me a picture of an All Might hoodie, and she was like, "Oh, do you think you'd like this?" And I'm like, "Mom, I would like burn that on site. Please don't."
You're just kind of like, dude,
Mom,
please don't do this to me, man.
And she's like, "What about these?" And then she sent me like a
Mom,
bunch
we're
of
public.
them, and they have like one for every character. They have like a Midoriya hoodie, Todoroki hoodie, and I'm like, "Mom, just stop. Just don't get me any hoodies." Just. Oh man. Anyway, there's still one big story we have to talk about, and it's the main man Kishimoto after
Samurai
failing pretty
8
hard at the start. Well, no, not even that. He failed super hard at the start of the year with Samurai 8 getting canceled, but now he is back as the main man in the front pilot seat of Boruto. He is now the official writer of Boruto.
He just canned the writer?
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, no, literally, they just like fired the past writer. Like, I don't know what happened there, but he's gone now.
That's insane that he has that amount of power. It's like, hey, you were writing my series, but yeah, get the fuck out. Like, what?
Yeah, because like after Samurai 8, I honestly wouldn't trust him. I'd be like, "Hey man, listen, you were cool back in the day, but you're kind of."
I mean, I bet but guys, he's gonna kill off Naruto. You know, it's the end of Naruto, guys.
Boruto was actually doing well without him really being being directly involved. I know that he wasn't writing, but he was assisting with something.
I think he was just supervising it to make sure like they don't mess up the continuity or something.
Yeah,
which I mean, I don't think Kishimoto cared about that anyway.
He was like George Lucas on episode 7 and 8 and 9.
But no, the interesting thing, like you said, Boruto was doing well without him, but the sales are actually like going down significantly. Like I think it went from it would sell like. When it started, it sold like 200,000 in its first week, which is amazing. But now it sells like 50,000, which is like lower than Black Clover and Dr. Stone. So it's like
terrible numbers, but
No, like it used to be in the main magazine, but they actually kicked it out. They kicked it out of Shonen Jump into V Jump, which is where like all the video game adaptations go. So, so they
well, they got to have a flagship,
and, also,
and I would imagine that was probably the move that they wanted to make, considering that they need a flagship.
I wonder if the writer of Boruto like actually liked working on the series, because I remember like at one point Sawyer Seven Mage made a video on it, and he is almost kind of making it seem like the writer of Boruto almost got kind of like tricked into writing it, because they almost told him it was like a reboot of Naruto and not a sequel to the series, so he like signed on to it, and then they're like, no, it's actually a sequel.
But he's like, oh man, I get a chance to remake Naruto and fix all the problems. It's like, oh no,
Yikes.
You have to. But no, the funniest thing, like they've been hyping up the Boruto anime recently because it's finally going to adapt the manga. It ran for 180 episodes, and it still hasn't touched the manga. Like, what are they even? Man, what a mess.
I feel bad for the guy. He just gets like the shaft. Just he's like, oh man, dude. It's like, because like he's getting carried by Boruto. He's like, so even if I fail, I'm still getting like a decent paycheck. But then he just gets absolutely just like fired. It's like, oh man,
Kishimoto comes in and everyone's like, oh my god, he's back. Just forget about.
I think in terms of Samurai 8, like I only read like 8. I mean, like literally like 6 or 7 chapters of the series, but I really just wasn't a big fan of it.
What's surprising to me, a lot of new Jump series are bad, like that happens all the time, but like the interesting thing about Samurai 8 is that it was just bad in a different way. Like it almost felt like there was no editors that stepped in to be like, hey man, you should change this. Like it feels like they just gave him free reign and no one supervised it, which is why it ended up being the way it is.
And no one's gonna tell him otherwise.
Samurai 8 was like a fart on Shonen Jump compared to something like Burn the Witch, which had like 4 chapters in an anime, and people are still talking about it, whereas no one is talking about Samurai 8. I just find that to be very funny.
Yeah, it's kind of like a reversal of the olden days. But yeah, Burn the Witch was a huge hit. It only had 1 volume, and it it sold like 10 times what Samurai 8 sold, and it got a movie right away. So. Yep. And now, and it's kind of a genius like way they have it set up, where it's like Kubo can just come back, write 4 chapters, and take another break, because that way he won't get burnt out, or get sick or whatever, and he can just do it whenever he wants.
Where have I heard that before?
Yeah. And I mean, I still didn't really like Burn the Witch, but it was definitely at least a lot better than Samurai 8. So good for Kubo, I guess.
I think I'd much rather get a full-on Burn the Witch manga than like a Bleach sequel manga.
Oh my god, yeah. I don't even know what they would do with a Bleach sequel. That would be a nightmare.
Honestly, I don't think people would read it.
What would...
Maybe like James Hansen.
Like, what was Ichigo's kid's name even? He's like...
I think it was
Orange, I guess.
I actually
don't
don't
know.
even remember.
Is that right? Orange something?
Ichigo's son. Kazui, yeah. The last page of the entire manga was like, haha, my name's Kazui, and I'm a Soul Reaper too.
I'm a Soul Reaper too.
I'm a Soul Reaper, Quincy, Vicerd, yeah, I'm everything.
I still don't even like... I'm still so confused about the lore. Like Renji and Rukia had a kid, but like, how... Like, they're dead, aren't they? And like, how does their kid age? Like, they age super slowly, but why is their kid, like, 5 years old?
Gosh, I don't know.
I
remember, like, when that chapter came out when I was in, like...
Who cares?
I don't know, a sophomore in high school.
At the end of the day,
gosh.
it's like, who cares? It's dead.
I joked before we started recording that we would somehow get to Bleach, and here we are.
We made it.
It's the ties that bind us, my friend.
Oh, man.
I honestly never read, like, Bleach in all of its entirety. I think I literally read, like, I don't know, like 36 volumes, and then I was, like, wasn't super interested in the Arankar arc, so I just kind of, like, dropped it. But then I read, like, literally the last, like, 5 chapters of the series when I heard it was ending, just because I wanted to see how it ended.
Yeah.
And I thought it was, like, I don't know. I
It's
just didn't really
even
understand what
reading
was
it
going
now,
on.
You have people who are like, "Oh, keep 1 through 21. It's good." I'm like, you read it once, it's great. You read it twice, it's good. You read it a third time, and it just doesn't serve the same purpose. You're better off just reading it.
I do think
And
Ulquiorra is a
experiencing
great
it,
character,
and then
though.
just tossing it to the side because there's nothing else to see once you finish Soul Society. All the major plot points and setup and shock that you get from the first arc of Bleach is just all there in one big swoop. So no point in reading anything else afterwards.
The last manga related thing we really had to talk about, I wanted just to go over, say goodbye to all of the fantastic series that ended this year. We got a big old list here. I came up with some of them, and then some people gave me some names I never even heard of. So I will play some sad music, and I guess just go through the list here, reminisce.
I'm so sad.
We have, of course, Negi's masterpiece, the quintessential quintuplets.
Oh no, darn.
He will be back soon with a new Sentai-related series. Keeping with the theme of 5, you got 5 Power Rangers. So honestly, I'm kind of interested to see what he'll do there. I've never really been interested in Sentai, but okay, it's Negi. We have the 7 Deadly Sins ended.
Yep, it did.
Yeah, it sure did. Beastars ended, everyone's favorite furry series.
That's a series that everybody forgot about. I have not heard that name in a long time.
No,
I actually
they
didn't even know it
didn't.
ended.
Season 2 starting soon. Everyone's hyped for Beastars. Although I have heard the ending is pretty poopy, but I'm not caught up, so oh well. The mangaka for Beastars is also starting a new series. It's about a girl who, I think every time she gets aroused, she has like a nosebleed, but it's like so bad she could die.
So Sanji? It's a Sanji manga? Oh my god.
Yeah, well that's literally what I thought of. Yeah. Anyway, what else?
It's literally like the scene from Fishman Island where Sanji's nose gets so bloody that like he almost dies.
Yeah, it's literally that, but the whole manga.
That is plagiarism.
Anyway,
Sounds like it to me.
I said the only thing that can make this better is if they were all anthropomorphic animals, but yeah. Anyway, then we already talked about Samurai 8. We had Zip Man, one of the best series I've ever read, ended. That was sad. We had Demon Slayer end. Haikyuu ended. Probably my favorite ending in a while. That was fantastic. We had Act Age. That happened. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Although I will say the artist is getting new work now. She's starting she has a new one shot coming out. So that's
Good for
exciting.
her, I guess. Oh, the artist.
Yeah.
I was about to say. I was
artist
like,
is
And
big
the
one.
mangaka got out of jail. Yay.
oh, God.
No, he didn't get out of jail. He was never in jail.
Well, no, I didn't mean that as literally get out of jail. He literally got out of going to jail.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Sometimes I kind of forget that series is done by like a different artist and writer.
Yeah, that's the
like
sad
I always think
thing.
it's kind of made by like one guy.
Yeah, that's the sad. Like I really hope her next work takes off, and then she can no longer be associated with the pedophile. But yeah, oof. Anyway, the Promise Neverland, of course, not too big on that ending. That happened.
I think like for the most part, like 80% of the Promise Neverland is like a great series, and I'd still recommend it to anyone who hasn't read it yet. But I mean, the last like probably 4 volumes I think are a little sloppy. Not really because I think like any plot points in particular are. I don't think any like specific plot points are like super like offensively bad. It's more like it just could have been like longer because it feels a little rushed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. We had Chainsaw Man Part 1 end, so epic, really fantastic. Can't wait for Part 2 when Denji goes to high school. That's going to be excellent. I have no idea what they're even going to do with that, but I'm sure it'll be great. Burn the Witch Part 1 ended. Also, we had We Never Learn end. I put Time Paradox Ghostwriter here. I know it was like a shitty series that got cancelled in 2 volumes, but I just put it here because of how like hilariously negative Japan's response to it was. Like they like fast-tracked the cancellation on this one. Just everyone hated it because it was about plagiarism. We have Hina Matsuri, which I know nothing about, and 3 more Blue Flag, whatever, Domestic Girlfriend, whatever, and of course, Fairy Tail, Happy's Heroic
Oh
Adventure.
no!
Damn, what
Fine,
what
well,
a
but
manga.
It's heroic that the series ended.
I'm so rotted, man.
I
It was so good.
I literally haven't heard about Happy's Heroic Adventure until today. But
Same.
I mean, I think it really speaks for itself. I mean, it sounds like
Fairy Tail has
a masterpiece.
Fairy Tail has like more spin-offs than any manga I think I know. Like,
I know they made one where it's literally like a
It's
spin-off
actually
of
wild.
Gray's backstory, even though that's like literally just a part of the manga.
They go more in detail with ult. Is it
Yeah.
Is it
That's
ul
enough.
or ultir? Which one? I
All
forgot.
right. Well, you know what? We've talked about so much garbage. My head is killing me. So let's go ahead and end on a positive note and say this: you lost the game.
Manga Alert Season 5. Woo!
Yes, sir.
Have a good one, guys.
Rito Shinoko. Happy New Year.
Oh, should I stop recording my audio?
I can see your face, your hairspray